Now this video is an introduction, if you like, to the hardware that we're using and the settings and services that we're going to configure. So as you can see, this is the Netgate XG-7100 desktop configuration. I always configure the pfSense to have a picture of the hardware that's running on, so the next technician that logs in can see what we're looking at. Alternative is a photo of the device being installed with, in the cabinet with the cables, in the appropriate ports. That would also be useful. Okay, so let's have a quick look at what we're dealing with. The pfSense, if you're not familiar with it, the menu is across the bottom, and you start off at across the top, and we start off with the dashboard. The dashboard's doesn't look like this by default, but it's very customizable. You just click on plus, and then you can add other things in, like where was the picture? There we go. We could add a picture, which is exactly what I've done here with and I add the model number there as well. But you can remove things as well, and you can customize what's included and what's not by hitting the spanner there as well. So going down on the left hand side, first of all, we have basic settings and basic model information and statistics about the device that we're looking at right now. So we can see who's logged in. We can see the firmware version. It'll do this automatically, but if you click on this little icon here, it'll go off and see if there's any other any other firmware updates available. And if there are, and you're using genuine Netgate stuff, then you shouldn't have too much hassle applying that update. But obviously, you'd like to have local access to the device, but if you don't, I've never seen this fail, but it could, and it will go offline for a short period of time. Okay, now this model has the AES-NI crypto support. It's there and it's active. That helps with things like OpenVPN. It does that much better than if it didn't have that at all. Now going further down here, we can see stats about the hardware. In Australia, where I am, the temperature can get quite hot. The XG range have fans inside, so they will keep cool. But the side effect of that is it hums. You can hear the fan. It's not terrible. In a server room, you'll get that anyway. But if it's on a desktop near staff, then they may complain. But that's pushing it. But anything lower than that, like the Netgate XG-7100, that doesn't have fans, so it's quieter, but it does get very hot. So in Australia, I think if it's going to be outside of a server room, get one with a fan and just put up with the noise. And I know that's saying something, but it can get pretty hot here. Okay, so this is essentially a computer, as you can see, so people forget that, but there's memory, there's disk space, there's CPU, and there's load. So pay attention to those things. Now on the right hand side here, this is here by default, I think, but it's a state of all the interfaces that we've got, and even the virtual ones. So 100 Wi-Fi is a Wi-Fi network that I set up in one of the videos. Then we've got the two uplinks, which you can't access them directly. There's no ports on the front for them, but they're in the back end, if you like, and they both have 2.5 gigabits, but they're load balanced. So anything going to and from the switches, including the SFPs, will be downgraded to 5 gigabit per second speeds. So something to keep in mind. Okay, then we've got some traffic. Now this is definitely not here by default, but you can go to the top and click on the plus and add the traffic graphs in. I think it's useful, especially if staff are complaining about the performance of the internet connection or any link that's going through the pfSense. It makes sense to keep it there, and at a glance you can quickly see what's going on. Okay, let's have a quick look across the top. System has things that you wouldn't change very often, except for possibly creating users if you're controlling the VPN, or if you're even running a VPN in your organization. And certainly if the user database is on the the pfSense, then this is where you'd manage it. But the VPN, just for the sake of saying it here, can use an authentication backend like Radius or LDAP. The other thing you might do here is to go to Package Manager to install add-ons, because the pfSense is designed to be expandable. So if you want transparent proxy, or if you want intrusion detection and prevention that doesn't come with pfSense, you can very easily go into Package Manager and install them. Okay, under interfaces, it has the assignments and switches, which is what you deal with if you're doing VLANing. The SFP ports for this model, OPT1 and OPT2, WAN by default is ETH1, and it's VLANed off that way, and LAN is the ETH2 through 8 by default. But in this case, I've VLANed off ETH8 as our Wi-Fi VLAN. Okay, under firewall, all you'd probably do here really is using NAT and firewall rules. Under services, this is where you'd spend your time configuring different services. In this video set, I've installed a Snort and Squid, and also you possibly would, if you're using this device on a Windows network, but you don't have Windows servers doing DHCP on every network, then you might set up a DHCP relay. Okay, so we have VPN. In this video set, video tutorial set, we did do the OpenVPN tutorial. Pretty easy to do. And under status, if you're troubleshooting, you'll spend a lot of time in here. And also, if you're troubleshooting, you'll spend some time in here as well. You can reboot from this point here, and you should be able to also halt the system to shut it down properly. And of course, backup and restore, very important, and this is where you do it. Both backing up is simple and restoring is simple, and I encourage you to do that as backing up as often as you can. All right, at this point, I think we've given a pretty good overview of the interface of the pfSense, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you very much.